I read the American Serengeti. That one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great too. What his theory is, and I think it's valid, that the time where they saw millions of buffalo was because the Native Americans had been wiped out by disease. This is the idea, is that there was never a time where there were that many bison.
Yeah.
And that the reason why there were that many bison was because the Native Americans weren't hunting them anymore, because they were 90% of them were wiped out by disease. That's why when they, made their way across, and I guess it was like the early 1800s.
Oh, like Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, when they saw millions and millions of bison. The reason for that
was that human predator population was in a trough.
Yeah, exactly.
And it allowed the bison to be in a spike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
because completely makes sense.
Oh, it totally makes sense. Yeah, because we always have those conversations about like when would be the best time to go back if you could, right? And also, how could it be that big total buffalo population number that always gets thrown out there was really on the landscape?
Right. Like, why wasn't there a balance of predator and prey where there always is? If it was really natural, right? It does make sense.
Oh, it totally. I mean, humans have been stirring the pot forever. That's why it drives me insane when people are like, well, before people.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm like, well,
what are you talking about?
One that doesn't get us anywhere right now.
Right. Before people's the dumbest fucking argument ever. They were here first. Well, this is the argument they use with wolves. Like they were here first. Like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Stop. No, they weren't. First of all, I love people. Okay? I'm only concerned with when people were around. So before people, fuck off. You want to kill all the people off so the wolves can run things? Like, what are you even saying?
Right. What are we going to learn from a pre-human type?
Doesn't make any sense. And there was obviously some sort of an imbalance that led to these enormous populations of bison. And I think Dan Flores is an incredibly brilliant guy. I think he makes a really compelling argument because we do know that the Native Americans were wiped out, that 90% of them were killed off by disease. We know that. We're talking about millions of people. And if millions of people were subsistence hunters and, they were riding around, living off the buffalo, following them around, which we know they did, completely makes sense, especially when you take into account the long gestation period. That bison, I think they have to be pregnant for a long time, right?
Boy, I don't know about that one, but
woolly mammoth, I know, is a long time.
I'm sure it was, because that was like African elephants.
Yeah. I wonder what is a buffalo gestation period? 9 months. Yeah. So like a person.
Yeah.
Very different than like a deer. Very different than a lot of other animals.
I mean, it's badass seeing those things out there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean, it really, really is. Because there's some part of like your, whatever people call it these days, your lizard brain or whatever.
Yeah.
Where, like, that's their home, right? And then you see that thing on that landscape and something just clicks and you're like, holy shit, man.
Pretty cool.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
really
is.
cool just to see them in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. But yeah, the Yellowstone thing is weird. I went there a few years back with my family, and it's really beautiful, and I enjoyed it. But I did not like the fact that all the elk were hanging out at the visitor station.
You're right.
Because they know they can't be hunted there, and they know the wolves won't go there. It was real weird. They're like so domesticated. They're just like 30 yards away from a fucking vending machine.
Yeah.
You see this big herd of elk just laying down on the ground, staring at people, and people taking selfies with the animals. I'm like, I don't know about this.
I know. Yeah, habituated as shit, as a lot of my biologist friends would say. It's the national park system, right? Is like it's a absolute wonderful thing. I know there's lots of dedicated civil servants within the national park system that bust their asses educating folks. But they just can't keep up.
Have you ever seen the Instagram page Tour-ons of Yellowstone?
Yeah. Yeah, doing God's work right there. Yeah.
Darwin in action. If you go to it, it's like people just getting launched through the air by bison.
Yeah.
And, God, how do they not know by now? I mean, how do you not know that you can't get
because
close?
Of the exact thing you're describing. They're like, oh, it's on the tour.
Right. Yeah.
It's like fortunately, they've trained the bison to stand right next to the visitor information sign or the bull elk or whatever, right? It's like this just is the way it's supposed to be.
And then they'll walk right up to it to try to get a selfie.
Yeah.
It's fucking. Here's one. Oh wow. Well, that
Yeah,
there's
little calf
no
in the middle.
fucking way that guy should be standing there.
No.
If I was that guy, I would be in that car as fast as I could. I'd climb through the passenger side. Like, fuck this. Because danger, do not approach wildlife.
I went up to watch the bison hunting season there in Yellowstone in the Gardner entrance, south entrance, or north entrance to the park. And a bunch of the tribes were down doing their harvest. And I was riding with Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Got to do a little ride along. And it was the most successful hunt they've ever had. So this was 3 years ago now. Tons of snow in the park. Some old cow bison decided to just lead everybody out. And there's like hunt rosters. So you draw your bison tag, but then you can also be on a list in case those tags get filled, which they never do. But this year it did happen. And then all the tribes came up for their harvest, and it was amazing. Like, there were people knocking buffalo down everywhere. And in fact, so many that they had to come up with a system to where they'd be like, okay, between daylight and like 9 a.m., nobody's going to walk beyond this line. Let everybody shoot, and then we'll all go out together and start cutting up bison and get them out of there. And then the next round of hunters can have at it. It was like a safety issue.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this actually on the park?
No. So it's called the Zone of Tolerance, which is a creepy name, if you're asking me. Zone of Tolerance. So all the states, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, that surround Yellowstone National Park, they have, the cattle producers have real fears of brucellosis, which is a disease that bison and elk pack around, and it causes domestic cattle to abort calves. So hurts them in the pocketbook, bad deal. Well, they need to reduce bison populations within the park. Can't hunt inside the park, but at the same time, all the cattlemen associations, they don't want those bison coming out of the park. So what do? Well, they came up with this zone of tolerance idea, which is a hunting perimeter around the park. They remove all the domestic cattle from within that zone, and then the bison, if they come out of the park into that zone, they're fair game for hunters. If they make it beyond that zone somehow, some way, then anybody can shoot one. And but typically there's like a brand inspector there to take care of any bison that make it beyond the border of the zone of tolerance.
What do you mean by brand inspector? What does that mean?
Cattle brand.
Oh.
Yep. Yep.
So how does that work?
Well, so he's an agent of the state.
Uh-huh.
And he is there to, in this particular case, like, protect the interest of the cattlemen's associations, cattle ranchers, right? And so, yeah, somehow, some way, he's authorized to whack those bison as if they make it beyond. But really,
And what do they do with the meat?
it gets donated to any one of those tribal members that's there. Probably has right of first refusal at least. If not, it would go straight to the food pantry. Yeah, I mean, no waste. And in years past, there's been groups that go up there just to go pull anything that's left in the field, the bones, stuff like that for making stock. There's groups that go up there and literally like take the carcasses off the ground because it is like highly sought after food stuff, right? It's a lot of bone broth you can make with a 2,000-pound critter.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was an amazing experience. And like each tribe brings their own tribal game warden with them. They're kind of like in charge of their people. They're coordinating to maximize the harvest. And so they're helping, very willing to help people, like coordinate to get their animal and get out of the field so they can get the next person in there. And that's part of the system outside of trapping. So they trap inside the park, and then they'll take those animals, move them to a separate facility where they go through, I can't remember how long of a period of monitoring for brucellosis. And then once that the trapped herd is considered brucellosis free, then they can be given to the tribes or sold.
Interesting. So so that's how, when people have bison on private land, that's how they get them there?
I mean, there's a couple other populations, but that's one of them.
And what's the population of bison in the United States now?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're gunning for 6,000 just inside the park.
What do they have now?
Oh, I don't know. Jamie, you'd have to look that up.
Weird. I don't know. It says estimated at around 500,000, smaller portion 31,000 managed, and then like 6 grand in Yellowstone.
Yeah.
There it is.
Very varying numbers though.
Boy, they came so close to being wiped out.
Oh, it's so wild. It's so...
It really is crazy.
So wild. I was staring at, I was like, Jeff, what's the deal with this skull, your Bison antiquus skull that you have out there?
Yeah.
That thing is amazing.
That's from my friend John Reeves in Alaska. Yeah.
I was wondering
Do you
where
know
that
about
thing
the
came from.
Boneyard?
Yeah.
Do you know about that place?
Oh, yeah.
That place is nuts.
For a dude who likes to pick stuff off the ground,
Yeah.
that's like a porn page.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy place, and there's no real explanation why there's such a population of dead animals in this one spot. You know, and he thinks it's connected to the younger Dryas impact theory, because there's a very clear, distinct line of carbon in his ground. Like that, you know, when you go deep into the ground, which represents where these, like a lot of these things that he's pulling, they're plus 10,000 years old. Like that bison head, we didn't get it checked, we didn't have it sent off, but a lot of stuff he has dated, you know, older than 10,000 years. And so what he thinks is that this is one of the areas where there was an impact. You know, this younger Dryas impact theory, there's 2 time periods. One is around 11,800 years ago, and then there's another one somewhere around 10,000 plus years ago. And he thinks one of those areas is where he was, or where his spot in Alaska is. And this deep, rich layer of carbon seems to indicate some massive burn that happened through that area. And it coincides with this immense pile of bones and ivory and you know, mammoth skeletons and cave bears and all this shit. Like, it's just small area. You know, his area is only like, the area where they're pulling these bones from is only a few acres.
No way.
Yeah. He thinks it was a wash. So with the impact came this immediate melting of a lot of the ice caps. You know, and this is what they think happened that ended the Ice Age in North America. You know, 10,000 plus years ago, you're looking at more than a mile high ice in a giant chunk of North America. And then almost instantaneously, that stuff gets melted. And this coincides with Randall Carlson's theories about this too, which are also was unsubstantiated until they came up with the core samples for the younger Dryas impact theory. And they go, no, this happened. Like there was a fucking massive impact. Somewhere around 30% of the entire world was hit by comets. And this area where John has, look at this, 2.1 to 2.3 acres. So if you look at the amount of stuff that he has, I mean, 2.3 acres is like a nice yard, right? It's like a person's really, oh, you got a nice piece of land here, nice yard.
Yep.
That's where he's pulling thousands of dead animals.
Yeah.
And if you look at his boneyard, if you look at some of the warehouses that he has, this is his Instagram page. Boneyard, Alaska is the Instagram page. But he's got enormous warehouses filled with tusks. and it's only from a couple acres.
Yeah, so they didn't walk to that spot and tip over. They got
Exactly. They all got
collected
washed
there.
into there.
Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
And very similar time period. Look at all this stuff, man. Fucking crazy. And look back at the other picture when you before. Look at that truck filled with heads. I mean, this is nuts, man.
Oh.
And this is like a day's haul.
Oh,
This is crazy, man. It's really crazy.
oh,
It's really pretty extraordinary. And thankfully, John has both the resources and the desire to blast the permafrost with these high-pressure hoses to get all this stuff out of there. But I mean, he's trying to set up a legitimate research facility out there. You know, these scientists, they want to take the stuff and bring it somewhere. It's like, fuck off. If you want to do it, you're going to do it right here. This is my land. We're not. He already had a problem with the Museum of Natural History. Is that what it was? Yeah, in New York, they dumped tons of his bones into the East River. So the property that he owned before he owned it, someone else owned it. That is his property. They took it and they were supposed to do research on it, but they had so many bones that they dumped a lot of it in the East River. And the museum denied it, and so he got divers to go look for it, and they found it exactly where
that
they
hurts my
said.
heart.
And they found steppe bison bones and all kinds of crazy shit that's not supposed to be there
no.
in a pile in the East River.
When we were looking at the zone of
Tolerance.
not the zone of tolerance, the range, sorry, of bison, of buffalo, I was thinking of your skull that you have out there, but I found a gorgeous one in this wash in Alberta, and it would be like their summer range, so north of the Montana border, not all that far, up near the Saskatchewan River breaks, and you get up on these bluffs that overlook the river, and you're like, oh, you just feel like somebody would have been sitting there watching stuff. And then if you look around, there's thousands over a lot of miles, but thousands of teepee rings. So all the tribes would go up there to hunt bison and camp out, a little bit of cooler weather. And that's where I found this bison skull.
Did you find the arrowheads up there?
There's a ton of them, but you can't take anything
leave
up
them
there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I called Alberta Fish and Game on this thing because I was so stoked about it. And they were like, oh, we just consider that cattle up here. They're like, you can take it. Like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old is the skull? Do you know?
Well, it was such a pretty skull. People were like, oh, it's got to be Bison antiquus. But it's nowhere near. That's amazing. Is that a freshie? Did somebody make that or no? No way.
No, that's Comanche head from here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I showed it to Remy, and he said it's really big, so they probably use it for fish.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's interesting that the bigger ones like that is like kind of a normal arrowhead for elk or deer. Like if in today's standards, if you look at that, that looks like an iron will. That's basically an iron will wide, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't use them that big. They had smaller ones because they didn't have much
They
much
wanted
power.
penetration.
They wanted real penetration.
Yeah.
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 Pretty cool.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
There's a friend of mine has a ranch out here, and they've got thousands of them. You know, like the Comanche must have used that area, and he has literally thousands and thousands of arrowheads. He's got boxes of them, all of them are dated and certified, like they know like what time period they came from.
And yeah, so like, why was that chunk of ground in use for that long, right?
Yeah.
If he's got that many, it's not because one group of people camped there for a couple of days.
Those thousands of years, probably. And well, it's because it's really rich. It's like it's right off the Colorado River, so a lot of resources, a lot of foliage, a lot of animals there to this day.
Yeah. That's one of the things that you can tell people. It's like, do you want to know why public lands matter?